You guys, I'm so tired of being an independent woman. I don't want to be that. I don't want to pay my bills in full, okay? I want to go halvesies. I don't care, okay? I want someone to pump my gas. I don't want to do this.
What's your plan when men stop doing the dirty and dangerous jobs that keep society running?
Can you give me an example of which jobs you're referring to?
Logging, plumbing, crab fishing, oil rig. When men stop doing the dangerous jobs, when men stop getting married, when men stop having kids, what's your plan?
I'm not worried about that.
Of course you're not.
No. I don't have a plan, Pearl, for a situation in which men no longer do those jobs.
The very microphone you're using was built by men. The building was built by men. And there's no gratitude or appreciation. You just tell them they're not doing enough. Future is not going to be great for feminists. You guys are going to get the equality that you're asking for. Men are not going to protect women in the streets. Men are going to stop signing up for the infrastructure jobs. The birth rate's going to keep falling, and the future is going to be bleak.
And you really look at a lot of these situations. I was reading a comment. I mean, the audacity, man. The audacity of a lot of these women. A guy in the comments said when he worked, his paycheck was for expenses, but his ex, her paycheck was for her. I mean, and then she had the nerve to come around and complain to him that his check didn't cover the expenses. Well, maybe if they don't cover the expenses, you could take your check and help. But of course, modern women don't really ever want to do that. They're bums.
My boyfriend and I have been living together for 1.5 years now, and he's moving out next week.
Okay, I don't know if you've seen this video, but she then goes on to say that they're not breaking up. He just wants to live with his little brother. Even if they haven't lived together before, which like in a normal childhood, brothers normally live together, but let's just say like maybe they're like long lost brothers, they've never lived together before, have the brother move in or like get a townhouse together or like an apartment together. Like that's the ideal scenario, not like I'm gonna leave my girlfriend to go hang out with my little brother who also already lives a mile away from the guy. Like, this is that not close enough? You also need to like sleep with your brother? She is Delulu. I'm not hoping for their downfall. I hope she loves living alone and dumps his ass before he dumps her, because that's obviously not.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video. And you know, you have a lot of men out here that for decades, for literal decades, they've been told that they're the problem. Men are trash. Men are toxic. Men are, I mean, whatever name you can think of. Men are this, men are that, and all that other nonsense. Okay, fine. So when men step back, if I'm such a problem, let me go ahead and move out the way. Let me remove myself from the situation. And now society, now modern women are trying to figure out where men went. Bro, you chased them off. What are you talking about? What are you talking about right now? You told them that they weren't needed. You told them that you didn't want them. And they listened. They started doing things that benefited them. And now you're confused? How does that work?
Why are men not approaching women in Atlanta?
Atlanta men love themselves. Their egos are too high. People not approaching women in Atlanta are people that think they're 10s when they're actually 2s, and they need to be brought down a notch.
That is so real. And if you do get approached like by a drunk guy that's just like, you're hot, there's no thoughtfulness anymore. I don't know if it's since fear of rejection these days, or like thinking a certain way about women like being entitled or something, but like I've just really noticed that men don't approach as much anymore. I think a lot of it happens online. Like one time I was out and I was talking to this guy and like nothing really happened there, and then I get a DM from the same guy, and it's kind of like, why couldn't we have hashed this out in person? I was like, I was there for 30 minutes.
I don't know if they just like assume that like pretty girls already have boyfriends and they're like intimidated. I've started to just be like, you know what, F it, like we're gonna go up to guys now because they're not coming to us. So
speak your truth, queen. I've been trying to figure that out myself. Years ago I used to go out, guys were running up to you, and I feel like now it's either they don't say anything to you at all, or they like just stand over in the corner and they just like stare
and I'm like, just walk up to me, say hello. Not creeping from the corner.
You had a woman somewhere in the comments say something to the effect of, I think somebody might have said, but who did you vote for? I need a man that looks red, but votes blue. So basically, you want a liberal in disguise, which is fitting because a lot of these modern women paint their faces and they're not authentically themselves either. So it would make sense that they're looking for somebody who isn't who they say they are. Which once again, if you double down on that point, would make even more sense because that's why they keep on running into Chad and Tyrone and going home with Chad and Tyrone, because Chad and Tyrone make it seem like something that they're not, and they fall for it every single time. So there's that.
This is where I feel frustrated, is where I just think that it just doesn't make sense to me how women are not being asked out on dates. Like, there are so many beautiful women, like, come on, like, just shoot your shot. But a lot of the things that the guys were telling me, and these were guys from the ages of like 19 to 40, was like, no, we don't want to intimidate a woman. If we see them on the street, like, we'll cross the road so that they feel safe.
I do that.
No, we don't want to come across creepy. So I do see that obviously culture has really like removed this from the man, this kind of like the art of the chase. And then that, I think, in effect, is making more men passive.
A lot of this has to do with, of course, feminism, but the hashtag #MeToo movement. The level of awareness of sexual harassment, which is a good thing, the awareness needed to be there, but there has been such a level of overcorrection, so much to the point that even a man just approaching you on the street is harassment. And the issue what a lot of men see is you can have two guys do the exact same approach, one's harassing her and one is received well. And the only difference is that she sees one as being attractive.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but that's not really fair.
It's not fair. But for a lot of good men, they're like, okay, well, the only way I'm going to know if you find me attractive is if I approach you. But if I get it wrong and you don't, that's a harassment case. So for a lot of men, it's like, it's not worth the risk.
Uh-huh.
A lot of modern women don't really understand that they're going to price themselves straight out of the dating market. And they actually have. Some of these guys out here are just existing, going to work, coming home, playing games, walking the dog, hanging out with the fellas. That's really it. That's really it. Not out here chasing women that don't want them, not out here themselves for promotions that not going to come. Just out here existing. It's simple. And for a lot of dudes, it's actually more peaceful. Because and you say, well, men are checking out of society. This is a form of checking out. All of these plaques and trophies and goals that you told me to attain, I don't really have to. And I'm probably not going to. It's too much stress. Oh, well, you're not a man. I mean, I'm not a man to you because I'm not myself for you anymore. And that's how a lot of men think today.
A relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little bit more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit more for it to work in the long haul. So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you. And when did that shift? Because back in my mom's era, if a guy wanted to take you out on a date, he had to go up to you, he had to get your number, he had to go through lengths to try to talk to you, even if you weren't interested at first. How my parents met? They met at a bar, and my dad asked for my mom to dance. My mom was like, get out of here. She wanted nothing to do with him. If he had just left and listened to her, they would have never gotten married. They would have never had kids. But he was persistent. He wanted to take her out on a date so badly. He was like, what do I have to do to take you out on a date? She was working late their first date. So he went to her work, picked her up, prepped a dinner, took her to a park, just planned the whole thing.
Because if a man persisted like that in today's dating world, he would at the very least be called a creep. And at the worst, he'd be going to jail. That is the reality that a lot of men face. So that in combination with the fact that women are not really reciprocating effort and they're not treating men very well right now, there is a large group of men that are saying that it's just not worth it. And they would say that women have asked for it. They have asked men to leave them alone. So guess what, ladies? They're leaving you alone.
I mean, what else is there left to say? Modern women are figuring out ways to be a headache and a nuisance to pretty much everybody around them.
Not gonna lie, if you ask me, a lot of women that is young right now, y'all better enjoy this. Because if I'm being honest, in the upcoming years and the years to come, man, a lot of y'all gonna be more better than cranberry juice. And understand, I say all this with an honest heart because, you know, there's nothing wrong with being Miss Independent. There's nothing wrong with, you know what I'm saying, wanting to be single. Because, you know, everybody don't want to be married, and that's okay, right? But understand that we just staying honest with each other. This lifestyle that y'all call yourself, you know what I'm saying, living and whatnot, is only going to lead y'all to becoming bitter in the end. Because the truth is, 1 out of every 3 women knows of a woman or knows a woman who is still single to this day that lived that same lifestyle and tells them that they don't need a man. Because let's be adults for a minute. The mass majority of women who says that to other women or younger women self-pleasures themselves, which is a sin, or they're incredibly miserable. And what does misery love? It loves company. And because misery loves company, misery knows in order for it to pass to the next generation, it has to show up like something it is not. So the truth is, a lot of you boss ladies and bad bees, all y'all really do is y'all just living in curses, just living in a repeated cycle. Y'all gonna be just like the former generation if y'all keep up this lifestyle. God bless.
You know, this bad attitude, this silly behavior, the double speak of modern women is really why men have stopped going the extra mile.
One of my favorite forms of hetero is a very powerful straight woman that absolutely hates men, that dates a little subby man that's afraid of her. Sister, you did that. I'm so proud of you. I'm just like watching a movie, crying, eating my popcorn, like, yes, this is the world we need to live in. And my take is that I think that for straight women, they're like, when am I going to find my person? Like, when am I going to find a nice guy? Step 1, do you hate men? Step 2, did you stop dating them? Step 3, it'll all work out. I promise you, in the long run, it'll be a beautiful thing.
At some point as a man, you will start to realize that if you continue to be in relationships and the woman think like this, you are taking advantage of them. You really taking advantage of a woman. Like, this is a different level of crazy. This is a different level of delusion that need to be studied. Because y'all call every single thing about men, and then you go describe a man that's gonna make you happy all of a sudden. 3 million views on this shit. All women agreeing with this stupid. Look, if you have kids, they gonna be watching how y'all treat each other. And you think you supposed to be a hateful person to your partner? You so selfish and inconsiderate. This really made you tear up, huh? Everything is just about y'all. These people are really loyal to their feelings only. Because they live in their head and their thoughts turn into feelings. She thinking about the dumbest shit and making her feel like this is what love is. And then they be asking what a real man at. Not in y'all head. They in the real world, but y'all don't appreciate real. Y'all like to think about things that make y'all feel good. But actions speak louder than words or thoughts. Nothing is happening up there, but it just made you feel better than any man in real life probably could. It's so crazy when these women would rather choose a bear. They would rather take accountability for who they are. A lot of them really need to be checked in somewhere. And the fact that the government will give them custody most of the time, they want the kids to grow up the way they growing up. That's how it happened to them. Subscribe to my YouTube, Planet Reality.
Men are looking at modern women and they're seeing their patterns and they're saying, that's pretty much something that I don't want to be involved with at all. You know, the more modern women continue to be selfish, the more they got to lose. They don't understand that now, but about 10, 15 years they will.